Back in December 1993, I actually tested the Daewoo DP51 for American Rifleman. This gun can't be that old.
The Daewoo DP51 Pistol is known to collectors who would have been buying guns in the 1990s, maybe around the turn of the 21st century. It's a firearm that's become a bit more obscure as the years have gone by, and it is a firearm that was developed first for the military of the Republic of Korea, South Korea. It was developed as the K5 between 1984 and 1988. It was then adopted by the Republic of Korea in 1989, and it continues to serve as their primary sidearm to this very day. The design of the Daewoo DP51, also known as K5, is interesting for a number of reasons that should capture the attention of the average enthusiast of recreational firearms. In certain respects, it's very straightforward. It's an aluminum alloy frame, a steel slide, steel 4-inch barrel, a semi-automatic 9mm pistol feeding from a detachable box magazine of 13-round capacity. There are higher capacity magazines available, but it's issued as a 13-shot pistol. But what makes it distinct and unique among other pistols is its use of a system called fast action or tri-action. And this refers to the way that the hammer is actuated before firing.
If you've ever shopped for a television or a compact sport utility vehicle, you've probably heard of the firm Daewoo. This is a huge South Korean manufacturer of many consumer products, and they also made guns for the South Korean military. There was the K1 and K2 issued to their army, and they also made the DP51 pistol. The DP51 was introduced into the United States in the early 1990s. And it was interesting because you have to remember what was going on in handguns at the time, in particular service handguns in the 1990s. There was the transition from revolvers and the first generation semi-automatics in American law enforcement, and the South Koreans and their importers thought that maybe they could get in on this. And the DP51 offered something that no other 9mm handgun of its time offered in terms of its operation, and it was called the fast fire.
So the DP51 can fire as a single action automatic. It can be used as a double action automatic. And in these two modes, it's a very conventional 9mm semi-automatic pistol. But then there's that third mode, fast action, also known as tri-action, where you can flick the hammer forward with your thumb, permitting the long distance of travel of a double action with the trigger weight of a single action. It's a handy feature because of the fact that you don't have the long, heavy trigger pull of a typical double action automatic. But it's a fad that didn't really catch on.
The problem with the DP51 was it kept changing importers. It was imported by KBI, it was imported by Nationwide, it was imported by Davidson. I actually wrote this gun up for the December 1993 American Rifleman, and the gun is actually marked KBI, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but it was available from Davidson's in Arizona. And so distribution hurt the gun, but what I think hurt it more was the unusual aspects of its operation. It was offering an advantage that people didn't know they wanted yet, and that was a lighter, better trigger pull, but with the safety of a double action length. The other thing it had not going for it was abysmal accuracy. We test guns at 25 yards, typically from a rest, and this gun was incapable of shooting nice groups. The average of all three ammunitions, 75 rounds, 6.59 inches. The first gun I had, I think I had some 12-inch groups. I'm not even sure they were groups. But obviously they had a rifling problem. They had a barrel problem, and I think that hurt the gun over the long term. But it's a very interesting gun, and it was in many ways ahead of its time because it was trying to solve a consistent light trigger pull weight, something that shooters probably didn't even know they needed back in 1993. The fast-fire system of the DP51 may have been a good idea at the time, but it sure doesn't seem so in retrospect. Anyhow, that's all the time that we have this week. If you like the show and you're not an NRA member, you need to join right now. Go to AmericanRifleman.org and sign up. I'm Mark Keefe, and I'll see you next week right here on American Rifleman Television.